Good afternoon. Today is the 30th of June, it is the last day of the month, and here we are once again at Lockheath Shopping Centre near Southampton, where we are attending the bi-monthly classic car event. It is actually a bit unstable in terms of weather today, but it needs to have meant that the attendance has been diminished too much. In fact, we've got lots of stuff here. I do apologise in advance if there's wind noise, if I fall over, if I just get things wrong. I'm afraid it's just the way that it goes on this channel. You all know the drill by now. So we'll start off with this very, very nice early Rover 3500 SD1. This is in lovely condition. 7677 on an R. They came out April 76, I think it was, on a P. That yellow car that you see in the new Avengers and Professionals was one of the very first. Sorry, no, June 76 it was. April 76 was when they actually filmed with that car the first episode of New Avengers. It was a prototype or something, I think. Very much like this, skeleton badge, fantastic. 1967 Austin A40 Countryman, this one is actually. This lives very close to where we do in Eastleigh. The owner's also got an A35 van, I think. Yeah, you can see the hinges at the top, and this is a Countryman. It's one of the first ever British hatchbacks. I think this might be one of the first in a way. What car was the first hatchback is debatable, but that's an early candidate. And we've got the Mini Neon edition, 1992-1993. And I have a feeling that this is a very early cat car, this one, because cats were required by all cars in the European Union in January 1993. And I think what they did at the Rover Group, who owned the Mini brand at the time, although these cars were never badged as a Rover, they appeared in the catalogue, so some people call them Rovers, and on the V5 it says Rover. They just sort of developed a single point fuel injection system for them and then put a cat on it, and it seemed to work out okay because that's what they used until right at the end of classic Mini production in the year 2000. Skoda Octavia. Now I think this is like a 61 or something. I've seen this before. It's in absolutely incredible condition. It's beautiful. It's not the Octavia that we know today. It is a much earlier model. It's been quite a few places actually, as far as I remember. I think this thing is just a Beaufort or something, or is this something a lot older? No, it's a Bedford, not a Beaufort. Yeah, but Beaufords are quite different. They're sort of replica classic. This is a real one. That'd be from the 30s or something. Oh, we've got a Morris Minor. You must have a Morris Minor in an event like this. It's just, you know, compulsory, isn't it? 65. Oh my gosh, look at this. Is that a second generation Civic, viewers? Wow. That's amazing. And it's a Honda-matic one as well. Local plate to the area. And from John Bott Automobiles, a friend of mine actually used to run the dealership. It doesn't exist anymore, it's in Southampton somewhere. And then, oh yes. Oh viewers, I'm a blessed man today. This is one of the favourite cars I ever see here. This lovely Bentley Turbo RL. I think it's a 95 or a 96. The L stands for long. It's unfortunately a bit inconvenient for me to actually get anywhere near it because there's a bush right behind it, but there you go. Yes. If I had, you know, much more money than I do, this is the sort of thing that I would probably buy for myself, but we'd have to spend a fair bit on maintaining it. I have driven a Bentley 8, which was like a sort of low specification earlier version of this car, and that was nice, but this is obviously an awful lot nicer than that. That is rather wonderful. And then we've got this Mercedes Fintail, or Heckfloss as they call them in Germany. We last saw this actually at at the White Horse at Ampfield near Romsey. It's not too far from here, and I'm not surprised that it's actually here. It's a very, very nice car, and 63 I think this one is. The owner actually put a comment on the last video. Obviously he's here today because otherwise how would it got here? But we've got a strange speedometer in it, and all sorts of things. This is one of the sort of lower end of the Heckflosses. The 220S were a bit more luxurious than that, and they look a bit different. This is sort of it's very recent figures probably about Mercedes, but you know, this was towards the lower end of the Heckflosser range. And then we've got an Aston Martin. In fact, we've got two of them here, with a cunning reference number plate as well. I'm not really, you know, an expert on these sort of modern ones. I don't really know much about them at all, but they're nice. Sometime in my life I'd like to have a go in one of these, but it probably won't be for a while yet, because well, there are many other channels that will actually cover supercars a bit more than me. Oh my gosh, it's a march as well. Better keep going, viewers, and keep calm if I can. Corvette Stingray. I think this is a C3. This Corvette, this one, relatively early one actually, 68, 69 on a G. They made them, I think, in 1983. They made these until. And then here's the little Civic, 82, 83 on a Y, with that Honda-matic gearbox in it. What an absolutely delightful little car. Not common over here at the time at all. Yeah, OT was an old Southampton plate. That is just fantastic. I really want to go into something like that. And then, oh, Saab action. Yes, please, viewers. Very, very late original generation 900. This might be a turbo. Let's have a look at it. It's got the right wheels for it, but some of them just were the aero package and they were not the turbo. So we'll have a look at the back and see if it says it. Maybe it isn't one at all, actually. Got a cloth interior in this one. The only thing I find with these, I have driven one of them. It was an 83 900 GL saloon, and I found the driving position a bit weird on the manual ones. The autos aren't like that, but yeah, no, it's not even an aero. I don't think this is just a 16 valve 900i. It's not turbo or anything. Very late one though, 1993. This would be the very last year they made these. And then the last event we came to at Lox Heath, this was where this little midget was at 64. It's going to have a full restoration. It's got quite a backstory. It was in a garage for many, many years, and it's one of the few that I've seen that's sort of not only with this interesting Ashley hardtop on it, but also it's kind of almost unrestored. It will have the restoration happen. It's just this is what it looks like before the work takes place. And we got this MG. I can't remember exactly what type this is now, or the year. I think it's like a 35 or something like that from memory, but that is in very nice condition indeed. And then we've got this enormous traction engine. I imagine it's a Garrett. Is that Garrett is in turbocharged or something? Earlier on I saw this reversing into that space and I just would not want to try doing that myself. I'm amazed people can drive them as skillfully as that. That probably took a lot of preparation to get here today, because you used to have to light the boiler and things like that and be lighted up to actually get steam up. That's impressive. Also impressive is this Peugeot 504 Cabriolet. Now it's not the one that I filmed a few months ago. That belongs to Jim. This is actually owned by a friend of his. I think it's like a 78 or something, this one. This is not a Hodek conversion like the earlier cars were. This was privately done by another dealer, because this is based on a facelifted 504. They actually changed the car. I can't remember exactly when it was now, like 75. I think they changed the front end and things. But it does seem to have a very nice interior. I don't know if it's beige leather or what, but it's good. These are very, very interesting cars indeed, and they're very, very rare. This one still hasn't had its hood replaced, so taking a bit of a risk today when the weather's a bit questionable. My gosh, there's all sorts of stuff here today, isn't there? That's some kind of sort of Ford hot rod thing. Wow. Anyway, get back to slightly more normal stuff. This is a Subaru Impreza, first generation one. I believe this is just called the Turbo 2000. I think it's a UK car, which case that's what it'd be called. 98, 99 this one. We've got some more Japanese plastic markers over there as well. 1991, 1992 Peugeot 205 GTI. The badge for the engine size appears to have fallen off on that side. So, oh, it's 1.6. Okay, that looks like it's been replaced actually. Yeah, very little. I think these were discontinued about 1992 for our market. So amazingly, this one's still got windy windows in it. Facelift occurred about 1990, so it's got those facelifted bits on it, so it's all very correct. Apart from that surprisingly small number plate. Also with small plates is this Fury kit car. Now the gentleman who owns this has said I could have a go in it, and we're just trying to sort out how on earth I'm going to get insurance for it, because it doesn't really appear on most of the databases. It is an entirely sort of was bespoke kit. Now there are certain bits, I think the engine's from a Ford or something, but it was actually registered for road, I think it's 2021 this one, so it's not been in existence very long. Let me know in the comments section if you'd like to see if I can try to get the insurance on this, because I think that would be an interesting video. And we've got a beach bucket. Is this like a Max Myers or something? Or is this something else? Obviously the car is based on about 1970, but I mean, who knows really with these? There's all sorts of different bits on them. Yeah, you just never know what you're going to find around here. And then we've got something rather amazing. Unfortunately, I can't show you what's happening earlier, where this Isetta was actually producing bubbles, some bubble machine underneath the front bumper there, because it's a bubble car, which is amusing. So that's unfortunately I can't show you, but this one, UK one, I'd imagine. They're built, I think, in Brighton, these things, for our market. It's based on Italian design but licensed by BMW. This one I've seen before, this yellow one, which is a 59, this one. Again, we've got a little wiper on the front, because you can see where you're going. Doesn't matter at the back, but yeah. I think I'd be absolutely terrified in one of these. I don't think I'd want to drive one. I'd just be constantly terrified. I'm sure some of you know what I mean as well. That one's left-hand drive, so maybe that's not built in Brighton then. Now look at this. This is a Datsun. I forget what model exactly this is. If this person who owns this is on the Datsun UK Facebook group, because I am, and it doesn't just cater for Datsun, it's all 1995 Nissans and Datsun, so the Sunny that I've got does actually qualify for that. Yeah. We got Datsun OHC. Oh, what was the engine here? I'll have to ask about that. But yes, that's some sort of era when Datsuns would sort of come in quite big numbers, and by probably after this, the sort of the Cherries and the Sunnies were actually quite big sellers. A couple of Minis, both from the sort of early to the mid 1990s. 93, 94. This one 91, 92. It's definitely not a Morris Cooper S. That's got a Mark II bonnet and grille on it, I think. But yeah, definitely much later. We're sort of talking sort of Mark VI Minis by this stage, not a Mark II at all. Although obviously it's got some bits on it from them. I think we're sort of both, yeah, about the same. This is far more standard. The wheels aren't quite standard, but this is sort of more standard interior and things, which would have been sort of 93, 94. Yeah, Mark 7s are the very last one, so most Mark 6s. And then another midget. This one's a lot later than the other one. 1971, 72 on a K, which is just after the Austin Sprite was discontinued. It was called the Austin Sprite for the very last year, the Heath Sprite. We've got round arches on this one, so I think it's still a Mark III at this stage. I have driven the Mark III, but it's a 68. I mean, look a bit different from this. And then we've got very nice TVRS2. When we had the treasure hunt event, which was a week ago, we followed this most of the way round, and it's nice. The suspension's not the best in this, I don't think. It was a bit bouncy and things, but it looked like fun. I think this is an 89 from memory, with the Ford's V6 clone engine. Oh, another Morris Minor. This one has been very interestingly painted. I don't think I've seen this car at this event before, actually. So we've got wipers and meters in the middle, and we've got trafficators. So I imagine this is somewhere between like 1956 and 61, I think. This would be a Morris 1000 with a 948cc originally. What's in there now, whether it's been changed, I don't know, possibly. Yeah, it all looks sort of correct for that kind of era. I don't know whether that colour is original or not. I like it. It's come as a 63, but the thing about this is that the 63s actually would have had the 1.1 engine, and they wouldn't have had wipers that met in the middle, and they wouldn't have had these rear lamps on. So it's I've been imported from somewhere. There's something going on there. I'm not quite sure. Someone in the comment section below who knows more about Morris Minors, tell me, because I think it's something quite interesting going on there. Oh yes. Oh, look at another Morgan freewheeler. This is the new model. My gosh, that's mad. I've been offered to go in one of these, not this particular one, but another one. And again, I'm just wondering whether I should or not. Wow. Yeah. Can I stomach it or not? I don't know. Another car that's one of my favourites that I see at these events is this. I think it's a '94. This one, Metro 1.4 GTA. It's a very late Rover Metro, because they went to the Rover 100 in, I think, January 1995. So it's quite late for one of these, and it is very, very sort of correct. Apart, I think the wheels might be off 100 rather than a Metro, but apart from that, I think it's really correct. I know that because my godfather used to own one of these. It was a green one, I guess slightly earlier, like in '92. But yeah, having driven a Rover 100 recently, I look forward to trying one of those too at some point myself. And then we've got the Mazda MX-5 Merlot Special Edition. Someone's stone chipped the bottom of the doors and the sills and things. So it's probably a very good idea, because rust resistance on these is not necessarily the best. Quite late actually for an NA, 96, 97. I don't know if it'd have the airbag. The airbags were very late ones. That's pretty tasteful, isn't it? Like Merlot, a tasteful interior, sort of like a sort of grey interior with purple trimming. Mind you, I prefer a beige leather interior with wooden leather myself, but there we go. Now this, yeah, early Lotus Cortina, this one, so it says console on it, so we're before the changes in 1964. I think this might be a 63 actually. Yeah, it is 63, and it's a real one. It's not a replica or anything. It's a real Lotus Cortina. If I had a Mark 1 Lotus Cortina, I don't think I'd be taking it out very often. So I'm very impressed with the owner of this for not being so cautious like me and actually doing it. That's a good idea. Right, we've got another Austin Healey here, and a Pantera, because why not? So let this lady sort of finish her photographs before we move on. As far as I know, that is a 3000 Mark 1, be sort of 1959, 1960, something like that. And then we've got the first, I think, it's 2 Mustangs. Pantera's just trying to find somewhere to park. It is not easy today, it is quite busy. I think I'm safe standing here for just a second. 67 Mustang with a V8 engine. Got away the Pantera run over. Yeah, that's nice. I'm not really massively into Mustangs myself. I understand why you would be. I mean, that looks great, doesn't it? I tend to prefer other things, but some of you will like that. And then a Mark II Jaguar 3.4 litre, 67-68, one of the very last of the Mark IIs, because I think it was in 67 they went to the 240 and 340 that were slightly kind of de-specified versions of the Mark II, and they weren't available with the 3.8 engine at all. At that stage it was just the S-Type that was. That is very nice though. What do you want to call the money like that? And then I have heard about this. This is a 1976-77 Triumph Dolomite 1500 SE. So it's an HL, not an SE. I owned an SE. This is an HL. This is Carmine Red, I think the name of this colour is. This is lovely. I almost bought one of these many years ago when I was looking for a Dolomite. It is absolutely delightful. The only thing I would say about this is I don't think it would have originally had a full vinyl roof. That was reserved for the Sprints. So it would have had these rear sort of panels here in vinyl, but the full roof would have been the Sprints. Apart from that, very nice. It's quite a rare spec. Most of them HLs for the 1850s. Overdrive, you know, this is the sort of thing I would, in a way, quite like to own myself still. They're not even that expensive anymore. I'm really surprised. You don't want to sprint. The Dolomites are still quite cheap. I don't know why. They're pretty good. I mean, having just driven the 1300, I'm probably quite biased, but there we go. Right, let's move over here because it's getting crazy around here. Ooh, another NA. This one's a Unos 93, 94 on an L, which is nice as well with BBS wheels. They do drive well, these. It's just you've got to watch for rust. Like seriously, you've got to watch for rust on them. Like so many other Japanese cars at the time. Ooh, two TR6s, both in red. One of them's a bit later than the other. This is a little bit later than the other one. 172 on a K. Have we got oh, it's left-hand drive, this one. Is this still the TR6 or is
yes.
Canadian spec. Thank you. Canadian one. Canadian car.
Twin 175 Shambolics.
Yeah, no fuel injection then.
No.
Yeah.
It's far more reliable.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, 269,000 miles, it's not gone wrong yet.
No.
So we've got a much better. This is 69 only actually. You can see this is actually still badges the injection. So yeah, definitely a 69 because it, they didn't come out till I think this spring of 69 these on a G. And this gentleman's about to open it up. We've got a little tonneau cover on here. We'll have a little look at the engine whilst we're here. Opens like that. There we go. So this is one of the original specs of UK cars.
Right. Okay.
And the gentleman over there has got one with the Canadian specification with the carbs on it.
Yeah.
Also a really similar colour, and we will come back to that Mocha in a second actually, by the way, is this Porsche 911 Carrera, the very last of this shape, the 89, before the 964 shape came in. It's the very last of this particular shape because you're not allowed to put registration on a car that's actually newer than the car is, so it must be an 89 only. But we've got this Porsche 356 Speedster replica. I think it's a replica because if it wasn't, it would be worth an awful lot of money. It probably wouldn't be out here. Do we have the tennis ball keeping the bonnet open still? Yes, we do. The faithful old tennis ball. It's always there. I think it's probably based on a Beetle or something. I'm not sure. I've never been able to identify exactly what it is. Then we've got this 1920s. I think this is an Austin. It has got a base leather interior. Very nice. I'm not sure I want to drive this myself, but I do appreciate it for what it is. Considering it's like, what is it, 28 or something. It's very, very old. And we've got this this thing here, and I don't know if this is I don't think it's a Caterham. I'm not sure if it's a Westfield or something. It's got Q plates on it, so goodness knows what this is. I don't know. Ford engine probably. Sweet P2. I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to just let the rest of you find out and make your guesses in the comment section below exactly what that is. A Volkswagen Carman gear, left-hand drive like many of them in this country are now. 6970 on an H. That's actually in really nice. I don't think I've seen this here before actually. The club's quite big, and quite a few cars do turn up, but I don't think you're even on the mailing list. And that's very nice. That. And then this thing here, this Ford from 1925. Oh, it's a Model T. Okay, that's why. Well, I don't think it's even got front brakes on it. The brakes on Model Ts are, well, not very good. It's the simple way of explaining it. Look at that. So this is for sale. It's a 25, so it's 99 years old, and it's all original. Fitted with 2-litre overhead cam Ford engine, hydraulic brakes, so it's a little bit better. All mods hidden from view, so this will be a little bit easier to drive. 950, call round 01489 589 844. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this surface could be yours. I don't think it's particularly for me, but that looks good. So we've got hydraulic brakes, so it's a little bit better than the standard ones. Porsche Cayman, I think this is. Don't ask me to tell you what year it is if you've got a personal plate on that, but I'm not sure I know too much about these, so we're gonna not spend too much time on that, but it's nice. And we've got some Fiestas, 2 Mark 1s and a Mark 2. This is a Mark 2, very late one, 88, 89 on an F. They were discontinued, I think, February, March 89. This one's had a different wheel put on it. Is that a look of a Mark 3 Fiesta or something, that wheel? Yeah, it looks good. Even the 1.1s are alright, they're about 50 horsepower or something. And then we've got a couple of the Mark 1s. The Mark 1 and Mark 2 do have a lot of engineering in common. Effectively, it's a very, very hasty heavy facelift of this, and I think you can swap the doors over and things like that if you want to. This one is wearing the incorrect bumpers and incorrect wheels. By the time this car is registered in 81, 82, the bumpers have been changed. Also, I think there's a Capri wheels on this. One thing I do know is that that interior is actually standard, which I was amazed about, but it is. So yeah, these two both got the same engine. This, I think this is an early 83, this 1.3 gear. It's one of the very last of them. And for the very final year, they made a couple of changes. I can't remember if it was just the gears that have these side repeaters added, but definitely the facelift I think was sort of late, about 1981 the facelift was. You introduced these bumpers on this gear, it's got the overriders, and then in late 82 they moved the number plate up to the bumper. It was a sort of little bit below that before, and I have just been speaking to a gentleman of this. I've spoken to him several times before, and we are going to be taking this car out quite soon. I'm looking forward to it very much, and also we've got an almost entirely standard interior with wood, which is all very exciting, and it's wonderful. You can get a rev counter, which is just brilliant. Yeah, overriders of course unique to the gear. It's not been modified this actually at all. It's on a standard carbon things. That should be nice, very nice indeed. Oh viewers, look at this 1987-88 BMW M5, and this is the E28 version, the very first of the M5s. That is absolutely beautiful. Isn't that in fantastic condition? Having recently driven an E30, I'd try one of these. I mean, we've got the like unique to the M5 rear lamps on this. Everything looks really correct. I don't know if I'd ever be offered a car like this, but certainly I would like to try one if it's possible. I have tried a couple of these though, these MGBs. This is a 70 to 71 on a J. I think there might be a slightly later gearbox in it. I wouldn't be sure. I'm not much of an expert on them, but yeah, that is I think the fish mouth grill, which makes it, I think, yeah, it's 7071 it would be. And then contrast, I've got something much later. Yeah, much later one, this one, about 1980. The latest one I've seen of these was registered on a C plate in 1986, although production finished in 1980 in Abingdon. So yeah, but late in terms of the spectrum. Actually they're pretty nice by this stage. I quite like the rubber bumper MGBs. Having driven one myself as well. It was registered in 81, but even later than this. But yeah, it does look good. It's not got the special edition right at the end seats in this. It's a more standard car, but I like the colour. That is that's good. Here's this minor Tourer we saw earlier. I can't remember if this is a real one or not, but we've got the very correct things in here, like the correct steering wheel for the model year, which came in, I think, October 64. That steering wheel came in, and yeah, all the details look sort of correct for it. But someone in the comment section below tell me if that's a real one or not. Then we've got something I am absolutely delighted to see. This is a last generation, for our market anyway, Nissan 200SX. They were called Silvias over here. I think this is an S14 Silvia in Japan it would have been, which had a slightly different front end. These cars were used in the revival of the professionals, which was called CI5 for New Professionals, which was broadcast in 1999. I'm not going to talk about that series because it makes me very, very unhappy as a fan of the original Professionals that was broadcast 70s and 80s, but the cars were good. Yeah, one of those was in it. This one's been a bit modified. Be about some 98, 99. This one they stopped importing them to this country in 2000. Another one of these like hot rod things. Goodness knows what's lurking under there. Let's have a look. Actually, I might be able to identify it. Is that a Ford engine? I don't know. Got a 5-speed gearbox in it. Actually, the car I forgot to mention that had a 5-speed gearbox put in it was that Jaguar Mark II. It's quite common actually to have that done because the Moss gearboxes that are originally in Mark IIs, they're not necessarily the easiest to use. The Reliance Scimitar, and no, I'm not allowed to make the connection, but you're expecting me to make that connection between a certain famous person and these cars is banned on this channel. This one is a manual. I think by this stage we're still with a 3 litre V6 Essex engine. The Colognes were a bit later than this. Yep, 3 litre Essex engine, 7273 with rear wiper. And we've got another one of these Triumphs based on the same platform. This has got Dolomite Sprint wheels, but it's not a Dolomite Sprint, it's actually a Toledo, which was sort of a successor to the lower end range of the 1300s and the Herald as well, really. So we've got the single headlamps that are rectangular rather than the round quad ones, which I think Dolomite had, and we've got the shorter boot on this. We'll have a look at the interior as well. It's been made to look a bit like a Dolomite 1500 SE, but it's not. Those are a lot later than this. Still got original Toledo dashboard and steering wheel. We don't have the kind of fancy instrument panel that the 1300s had in this. It was all sort of decontented in its rear wheel drive rather than front wheel drive, which was 1300s were. And then we've got some more TVR action, and not just TVR action in dark blue with a cream leather interior, which is very desirable. Yeah, Griffith, it's got the let's get this right, I think those are the Cavalier rear lights, aren't they? So 92, 93. And then we've got a Morgan, I think it's the only one here, 79 to 80. That is a Morgan 4.4. Was it Ford engine in those at that stage? Yeah, we've got another one of these sort of old style Fords here, hot rod things. Driver stand Lauren Oliver Hardy, yes, excellent. That's a very, very good reference. I think this says mechanics on it as well, yes. Body paint Steve Wonder and mechanics for Chuckle Brothers, brilliant. I like jokes like that. 2019 to 20 Ford Mustang 5 litre V8. Should I ever go on one of these at some point, viewers? I never have. Maybe I should. I've never done a Mustang on any kind. Oh, another Scimitar. This one will be right on the edge of changing over to the Cologne engine, I think. So, 1980 to 1981. I'll look at the information sheet in a second. This one's another manual. That might well be a Ford. Ooh, Type 4 or Type N gearbox in that. Someone in the comment section below tell me what gearbox that is. Probably the same as a Granada. And then we'll have a look at this information sheet. Here we go. It's an SE8 GTC. That's a rare car. It's painted in Austin Road British Racing green. Does it actually sort of say? Oh yes, it's a very early Cologne engine one. This is, yeah, it's a 1981. And this was featured on Bangers and Cash. Excellent. We've seen many of those those episodes. What on earth is this? On a Q plate, yeah, Portsmouth, yeah, BP was an old Portsmouth plate, that makes sense. This looks like the Monstermobile or something, doesn't it? Automatic gearbox, so probably not that difficult to drive. What on earth would that be in there? Yeah, somebody in the comment section below tell me what this is, because I haven't got a clue. Nissan March Super Turbo, which is the Japanese domestic market version of the K10 Micra. We only really got the 1 litre and 1.2 normally aspirated engines over here. We didn't even get the Figaro. Those have all been imported, actually. But this presumably has the same drivetrain in it as the Figaro with turbo, and it looks quite aggressive, doesn't it? Can't remember what years. I think it's a facelift one to be sort of 89 or later. We only got 1 litre, 1.2 and non-turbos over here. So we go right down here and we'll see something very, very special. A De Tomaso Pantera GTS. Wow, that is very nice. I just realised how low this car is off the ground. I don't think I'd like to get in and out of that too much. And as we've seen, the gentleman who owns this struggled to get this in. I think the steering lock's quite bad, but that is quite special. It's very special. I don't think I've seen it here before. So tucked away in a corner, I'm not even sure if these are a part of the actual club thing. They might be. It's this 1967-68 Mustang and this Triumph Stag. A very late one, 77-78, production finished in 77. Oh gosh, what is this? Mimosa yellow is this called? It's a colour that I've only really seen on Dolomites before, but it's nice. It's actually in very nice condition, that stag. And then there's the back of the Mustang. It's becoming a bit tricky actually around here because so many people have turned up, but there's no space. This gentleman here has managed to clear the space. This is a TF, isn't it? It's one of the last of the TFs. It'd be a sort of 54, 55. This one, 1500, I think. Or is it 1250? I don't know. Shouldn't assume things like that because it gets me into trouble. I wonder if this is a sort of Bedford M-type or road type lorry. I imagine it probably dates from sort of late 40s, early 50s, isn't it? It's something like that. There's one of these in an episode of Professionals called Where the Jungle Ends that's similar to that. And then yes, this is an electric moke. Handy, which is the local dealership group to this area, there's lots of different brands, they do sell these. If you want one of these, you can buy one. I don't know whether necessarily that is for me. It's the electric one, this as well. But it's still got the same kind of absolutely terrifying vibe of the original, where there's just no bodywork or anything. We've got 3-point seat belts in the back there, that's better, isn't it? And it's probably a little bit safer than it used to be, but wow. I don't even know what those stalks are out of actually, I've not seen those before. But yeah, 73 plates, so it's probably less than 6 months old, isn't it? So I think what we'll do is we'll end on this very, very nice Mark II Ford Granada. 77, 78 on an S. Someone's put a Ford Type 9 5-speed manual in it. I can't remember if these at this stage would have had the 5-speed gearbox. It might have had a 4-speed in it originally. The facelifted one certainly had the Type 9. That is very, very nice indeed. I very much like Mark II Granadas here. Very fond of them indeed. Obviously this final roof needs sorting out something, doesn't it? But never mind, it's still here, isn't it? Right, let me just check to see if anything else has come in, and then we will probably finish very shortly. Well, viewers, I'm very glad that I didn't cut the video off because we've found something else. 1982 to 1983 Mark I Golf GTI, very late one. I don't think this is a campaign. Obviously these aren't original wheels, are they? They are something else. But that is that's special, isn't it? Right, this time I will say thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the video, like this below and leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for even more incorrect information.